Good morning, students. Welcome back in your SS class. Student, from this video lecture, we will start fourth chapter of geography, agriculture. Chapter number second and third, these are not in your, you can say that syllabus. They have been deleted. And as a project work, they will be studied. And second thing, maps of those chapters. Chapter number second and third. Maps will be included in the final exam also. So we will not leave maps of those chapters. Right, students? Now, students, from this video lecture, we will start chapter agriculture of geography. And this would be the first part. Right, students? Okay. Students, everything about this chapter, first of all, let's discuss about the topics and you can say contents which we will cover today. First of all, we will give the introduction of this chapter. Then we will study about the types of farming. Means different types of farming, we will study about it. After that, we will discuss about the cropping pattern, then major crops and their feature also. Type of farming, cropping pattern, and major crop and their features. These are the most important part of this chapter because mostly questions are based on these topics. Right, students? After doing so and after studying these topics, we will study about the technological and institutional reforms in agriculture. What are the reforms has been done and what are the steps taken by the government and other people. We will study all these things, right? After that, we will discuss about challenges faced by the Indian farmers. Because whenever we do any activity, we face a lot of challenges and we have to overcome all these things. We have done, you can say that with different type of technological and institutional reforms. Still, our Indian members, our Indian farmers, they are facing many challenges, right? At the end of the chapter, we have two topics, that is impact of the globalization on agriculture and gene revolution. So these are the topics which we will cover in this chapter, right? And this would be very interesting chapter for you, and maximum students know about this chapter also because they have already studied about this chapter in the earlier classes also. And second thing, there are many students who belong to you can say that farming activities, and you can say their parents belong to these activities. So this is not a new topic for you, and as an Indian member, you can say that it's a important chapter for us also, right? Now, dear student, first of all, let's take the introduction of the chapter. My dear student, if we think about the word agriculture, it is this word is derived from the two Latin word. This word is taken and you can say derived from the two Latin word. The first one is ager and the second one is agriculture. The first one is ager and the second one is culture. What does it mean? What does it mean? Because in your chapter, sometimes 1 marks question is from that agriculture is derived from which word and from which language, which language. So agriculture, this word has been derived from the two Latin word ager and culture, where ager means land, or you can say that field, and the second thing here, culture, it means cultivation. Spelling is field is different and means wrong here, but it means land or field. So agriculture, it is derived from the two Latin word ager and culture, and where ager means land or you can say field and culture means cultivation. This is the agriculture. So let's see the standard definition of agriculture. Everything about the definition of the agriculture, it is the art and science of producing crops and rearing of the livestock for the economic purpose. Listen, students, just only to produce crops, it is not agriculture. Rearing of livestock, it means pasupalan. It is also included in this type of activity also, right? So the art and the science of producing crops as well as rearing of the livestock for the economical purpose, this is called agriculture. This is called agriculture. Also, this thing is clear to all of you, right, students? Now let's study about other factors. So my dear student, if we think about agriculture, we have studied about three types of economical activities: primary, secondary, and tertiary. We have studied about these things in the 9th standard also. There are three activities as an economical purpose. First one is primary, secondary, second is secondary, or third one is tertiary sector. And agriculture, because we if we think about agriculture, we get everything from the nature. That's why this activity is called primary activities. This activity is known as a primary activities. Whenever human being started living a settled life, the first activity and the settled life they have been started, that is agriculture, right? So agriculture, it is a primary activities, and we are totally depend on the you can say that nature and our earth surface, earth surface. That's why this activity, it is called primary activities, right? And if we think about in India, near about 2/3 population, India's population, still it is they are engaged in this type of activities, directly as well as indirectly. Means आज की अगर हम बात करते हैं, more than 50% people, they are, you can say that they are directly or indirectly, they are engaged in this type of activities, right friends? And if we think about this type of activities, it produce food for our consumption also, and raw material for the different type of industries, which we said that agro-based industry, which we said about that these are agro-based industry. So agro-based industry, they are depend for their raw material on agriculture. Second thing, this activity means agriculture produce food for us for the consumption. So this is the important thing for us, right friends? Now let's know about some other factors. Dear student, if we think about agriculture, it is not a new activities, it's a very ancient activities, and you can say that in all over the world, it has been started in a very ancient time. Means it is not a new activities, right friends? But my dear student, as the time pass, means over with the passage of time, the cultivation methods, it has been changed. Means this activity is it is old in all over the world, but with the passage of time, the method of the cultivation, it has been changed, and these are depend on different factors, like physical environment. If we think about physical environment, like rainfall, and you can say that land productivity, etc. Second thing is technological advancement. Means with the passage of time, our technology has been increased. So due to the technological advancement, we are growing more and more crops, and we are getting more and more output also. And second thing, socio-cultural practices. So my dear student, if we think about agriculture, it is not a new activities. It is, you can say that all over the world, it is a very ancient type of activities. But with the passage of time over the years, the method of this cultivation has been changed, which depends on the different factors like physical environment, technological advancement, and socio-cultural practices also. Right, friends? Hope so this thing is clear to all of you. Now our next topic would be the type of farming. My dear student, if we think about this, the type of farming, you all well know about the type of farming also. There are three types of the farming. The first one is primitive subsistence farming. Primitive subsistence farming. We will study the feature of this activity in the later part of the chapter also. Second thing, if we think about it, that is intensive subsistence farming. Third one is commercial farming. And we will also study a type of commercial farming, that is plantation also. So we will study about these type of farmings, and you are well aware about these types. You are well aware of these types. Think about it. Primitive, it means old method. Primitive, it means old method. Intensive, it means we will use you can say modern inputs. Okay, and commercial farming, it means we are using the farming as a commercial purpose. Think about the words which we are using here. So let's discuss about the feature of these activities. First of all, we will study about the primitive subsistence farming. As you know about it, primitive subsistence farming. So my dear student, it's an old type of farming, you can say that, and all the primitive methods, all the primitive tools we will use in it. If we think about this type of farming, my dear student, listen it very carefully, that it is a primitive subsistence farming where the output is very low. We will use all the primitive tools, and we will use all the primitive methods also. That's why output is very low, and most of the product which are produced, you can say that in this type of farming, that is consumed by the you can say farmer family only. Right, friends? It is not a commercial purpose. We are not able to sell our product in the market also. So if we think about primitive subsistence farming, this type of activity, and you can say this type of farming, it is carried out by small patch of land. Means this cultivation is done only small patch of land. And all the primitive tools like hoe, digging stick, dough, etc., we will use only these type of primitive tools, right? And this type of agriculture, it is totally depend on the rainfall for their irrigation and natural fertility for the production. Means we will not use any modern techniques to increase the productivity of the land also. Okay, and if we think about the labor requirement of this type of agriculture, just only by the family member, they fulfill the labor requirement of this type of farming. Means we don't need any type of other members, and you can say we don't have any need to hire other labor also, right? Only family members, they are sufficient for the labor requirement. And whatever is produced in this type of agriculture, that is used for the self-consumption. Means the farmer, whatever is grown in his or her patch of land, that particular production, it is used just only for the self-consumption. We will not sell it in the market. And dear student, in some part of the world, this type of farming, it is also known as a slash and burn cultivation. So if you heard this word slash and burn cultivation, then a word comes in our mind, that is shifting cultivation. That is shifting cultivation. We must study about it because it is very most important thing also, right? Now we have one question here, that why primitive subsistence farming, it is called slash and burn cultivation. Means why we call it. So my dear student, it would be 3 marks question for you also. So remember the things. So my dear student, first of all, this shifting cultivation, and you can say that this primitive subsistence farming, it is done by the tribal people, and you can say the farmer, and that particular farmer, he clear a patch of land by cutting the trees and by burning the trees. Means for doing the agriculture, the tribal people, and you can say the farmer, he select a patch of land in a you can say that in a wood and in a jungle, and in that particular area he cleared that particular land by burning the trees and by cutting the trees, right friends? And after then he show the seeds in that particular area, and he cultivate that land for a couple of years. But my dear student, listen it very carefully, that particular farmer cultivate that land only a couple of years. But when the cultivation of that particular land, it has been decreased, then that particular farmer leave that particular land and move to another area. That's why this cultivation, it is called slash and burn cultivation, because in this type of farming, the farmer clear the particular land by the burning the trees and by cutting the trees. Second thing, because the fertility is decreased, so that farmer move from the another area, and because he is moving from another area, that's why this type of agriculture, it is known as a shifting cultivation. It is known as shifting cultivation. So remember one thing, whenever you have the word shifting cultivation, so the definition of this shifting cultivation is that a farmer select a patch of land in a jungle, and you can say in a forest, then he clear the land by cutting the trees and by burning the trees. And after clearing the land, he cultivates that particular land for a couple of years. But whenever the fertility is decreased, then the farmer leave that particular land and move to another area. Why he moves to another area? Because that particular land gets fertility, recover its fertility in a very natural manner. That's why this cultivation, it is called shifting cultivation, and it is also called a slash and burn cultivation, right students? And my dear student, in our India, there are many places, and you can say there are many areas where this type of cultivation is done. right? And this type of cultivation, it has different names in different areas, and not in India also, it is also in the world also, and it has also different name. And this is the one marks important question for you also, that shifting cultivation, it is also known that different type of cultivation in different part of the world and different part of area also, right friends? So let's study about the other names of the primitive subsistence farming. First of all, study about India. In MP, Madhya Pradesh, we'll set it Bewar and Dhiya. In Andhra Pradesh, its name is Podu and Penda. In Odisha, Pamadevi or Koman or Bringa. Western Ghat, Kumari. Southeast Rajasthan, Valer and Voltaire. Himachal Belt, Khil. Jharkhand, Purva. And northeastern region of India, it is considered the Jhumi, right? Slash and burn cultivation, it is also known as a shifting cultivation. It is already told you, I have told you in the last slide also. These are the another name, and you can say these are the other name of the primitive subsistence farming and shifting cultivation in different part of India, right? Now come to the world. In world, there are different names like Milpa, it is in Mexico and Central America. In Central America and Mexico, the other name of the shifting cultivation, and you can say primitive subsistence farming, it is Milpa. In Venezuela, it is Conuco. In Brazil, it is Roca. Central Africa, it is Mesol. Indonesia, Ladang. And Vietnam, it's Ray. So these are the other name of the primitive subsistence farming in the world. Also, this thing is clear to all of you. And my dear student, these names are the important question as a 1 marks question in your exam also. So be ready for these question also, right? So this is the primitive subsistence farming. Now come to the second type of farming, that is called intensive subsistence farming. It's also very most important thing. My dear student, whenever we think about intensive, it means we will use that particular land in a very intensive manner. We always say, tell you about that we should study intensive manner. What does it mean? It means that we must do hard work. Whenever we think about intensive, it means that we have selected land, we have just only limited land, and in particular limited land, we will use all the modern inputs and methods so that we can increase the production. Reason is that because our population, it is going to increase, so we require food for that particular population. Second thing, we have been going to develop, means there are scientific technology, scientific development also, and technological development also. So we have different type of tools, different type of modern tools also. That's why we do intensive farming, so that in the limited areas we can get more and more output. Right, friends? So let's study about the intensive subsistence farming. My dear student, this type of farming, it is practiced in the areas of the high population. This is 1 marks question. Intensive subsistence farming, it is practiced in what type of areas? It is practiced in those areas where high population is there, right? Second thing, it is a labor intensive farming, means we require more labor. That's why we have to hire more and more. That's why we have to hire more and more labor also, right? Second thing, we have to use heavy biochemical also, so that we can get more and more output, like HYV seeds, and you can say pesticide, insecticides. That's why we can get more and more output. Okay. And second thing, whenever we use HYV seeds, pesticide, insecticides, the output is high whenever we provide them proper irrigation facilities. So it required intensive irrigation to obtain higher production. It does not depend just only for the natural rainfall. So that's why we require tube wells and other means of irrigation facilities, right? Second most important thing, why we have to use intensive subsistence farming. In our India, we have one right, that is called right to inheritance. It means father की जो संपत्ति है वो बच्चों को मिलेगी. And due to this thing, it leads to divide the land in a small areas. It means the land holding size, it has so small that it has become uneconomical. That's why we have to use this type of subsistence farming. this type of farming, so that in the limited area, in the small area, we can get more and more output. So this is the intensive subsistence farming. Also, it is very clear to all of you, right? Now, let's study about the difference between the primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. So let's take the difference. First of all, if we think about primitive subsistence farming, it is practiced over a small plot of land. Means the farmer just only does this type of agriculture, just only a small plot of land. But if we think about the land size, it is comparatively bigger than the primitive subsistence farming, right? Second thing, in the primitive subsistence farming, in this type of farming, the farmer use all the primitive tools, all the primitive methods like hoe, dough, digging sticks, and natural manure, etc. But on the other hand, if we think about the intensive subsistence farming, the farmer use all the modern inputs so that he get more and more output. He use HYV seeds, insecticides, pesticides, etc. Right, students? In the primitive subsistence farming, the farmer depends on the natural rainfall and the natural fertility of the soil. But on the other hand, if we think about the intensive subsistence farming, all the modern irrigation methods like tube wells, okay, my dear student, if we think about the primitive subsistence farming, its productivity, it is very low because the farmer use all the primitive tools or the primitive inputs, and he depends on the natural rainfall and natural fertility of the soil. That's why the productivity of the land, it is very low. But on the other hand, if we think about the intensive subsistence farming, it has high productivity. Reason is that because all the modern inputs, it has been used. That's why the productivity, it has been increased. And the primitive subsistence farming, the product, it is just only consumed by the family member only. But in the intensive subsistence farming, commercial purpose may be there, right? So this is the difference between primitive subsistence farming and intensive subsistence farming. Hope so this thing is clear to all of you. Now, from tomorrow lecture, we will study about the commercial farming, right? Hope so everything is clear to all of you. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Have a nice day.